Buff Nation, what is going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hey, credit to Match H. He just asked me to do this exercise. He's like, Dave, is there something that you can do to show with some data if this defense has truly improved or not? And I thought that this was a really interesting idea. And so I'm going to break it down for you using some of the tools that I have from Pro Football Focus. Again, that is just a piece of the entire story, but I would rather have some data points than none at all. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy this exercise and find this pretty interesting. While I don't expect CU's defense to be, top 30 in the country, I do think that this supports what I've been saying all along, is that I think we will see an improved defense. And I think, hey, as long as we give Shador an average defense, he's not going to have that pressure to feel like Superman every drive. We're going to play more complementary football, and I think that that's going to benefit the team. We're going to be winning more games, and you'll see improvement from both the offense and the defense. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We'll get this started. Y'all smash that like and subscribe as I pull this up, and I'll explain to you what this exercise kind of looked like, okay? So first off, what I wanted to do, hopefully you guys can see this okay, is just figure out where CU was rated at for overall defense, 118th, for run defense, 121st, and then for pass rush, they were tied for 93rd, which I thought was interesting. Now, see Baylor's right here. They're a homecoming game, so feeling a little bit better about that after I've gone into this exercise a little bit. But I wanted to take our grades overall of our team and just compare that to the average grades for overall defense, run defense, and pass rush for our impact transfers that we've brought in this offseason that have played a significant amount of time prior to coming to CU. Now, there are guys such as Quincy Wiggins or Amari McNeil that I think we're expecting to play some nice substantial roles for us, whether that's starting or rotational. We'll see how that shakes out in training camp, but I didn't include them because they just haven't had enough snaps I didn't want them to kind of skew this exercise too much. So I've only included transfers that we're expecting to play a big time role on the team that has also played a handful of snaps, a lot of snaps prior to their time coming to CU. So I wanted to show you guys this, and I thought it was interesting. So I included Dayon Hayes, Samuel Okunloa, BJ Green, Keaton Wade, Nikai Hill Green, Jalen Wester, Johnny Chaney Jr., Ryan Buell, and then Tarian Carter. And I think what's interesting is that outside of Tarian Carter, who again was playing right off of that ACL, the guys that we've brought in, they are substantially ranked higher than our best performing edges, for instance, Jordan Dominic, Taj Alston, linebacker Marvin Ham, 543, Levante Bentley, 719. And then with our interior players, Amari McNeil, and then, Shane Cokes, Leonard Payne, Chaz Wallace, all those guys were out there last year. I think, again, we've brought in Tarian Carter, who I am expecting to play much better than that 756 rating that he has, or grade that he has. But I think overall, from just a ranking standpoint, we're bringing in guys who rank much higher at the front seven positions. So, and this exercise is just about the front seven. So linebacker, the edge rushers, and the interior defensive line players. So I'll get to it. So what I did was I added up their score for every category and just found the average of it. So with run defense, overall for these guys that I just listed out, graded out on average is 71.79. That's an 11.99 improvement over the 59.8 rating grade CU had last year. Okay, so this is an improvement of 12 points essentially with the guys that we brought in. And I think that there was a big emphasis on the players that we brought in. They can all stop the run, at least at a decent level. They all graded out at doing that at a decent level. Now for pass rush, that's a little bit different of a story. We didn't really bring in anybody with big time pass rushing grades. That's at the defensive interior. At linebacker, it's a little bit up and down. I believe that Nikai Hill Green had some really good ratings. I think this is a 77.1 with pass rush. But the edges, we're talking about guys like BJ Green, Samuel Okunloa, like Dayon Hayes. As you can see, Dayon Hayes, 72.7. Samuel Okunloa was a 65.3, actually. But I think that we're expecting him to be a little bit better this year, going into his redshirt sophomore year, I believe. So I think that even though this actually shows a minus 0.28 drop in grade on average, which I thought was funny, I think that we've continued to enhance like those top rotational or starter positions. They are going to be better at pass rushing than what we saw from Jordan Dominic and company last year. And then overall, I mean, when you look at the overall defensive grade for the impact transfers that we brought in, 72.71 was the average grade. CU was at 67.5. So that's an improvement of 5.21 points. And again, this isn't a perfect exercise. Again, I kind of excluded some guys that might have a larger impact for us on the team this year than they've had at their previous schools. But I think this kind of does support the idea that I think we will see growth from the defense this year. I don't think it's going to be one of the best in the Big 12 or one of the best in college football, but I think this kind of does support the idea that CU is going to have a better defense this year. Now, how much better is it going to be? We'll have to find out. If we truly can become very good at stopping the run and get some leads against some opponents, you're going to see that pass rush grade improve substantially, okay? When we're not always having to come from behind, but our opponents are. And we very well could have some defensive performances this year in the Big 12 that kind of feel more like a top-end performance, no doubt. But all I'm saying is, guys, if we just have an average rated defense within the Big 12, there's not going to be nearly as much pressure on Shedeur in that offense to be Superman every single drive, right? They're going to be able to control the ball a little bit more, run the ball, like want to play more of that time management, clock management, time of possession type of game, a little bit more balanced of an approach, and we can have our phases, special teams, offense, defense, play a little bit more complementary towards one another. So y'all let me know your thoughts on this exercise. Would you guys like me to branch out a little bit, take a look at the secondary, offensive line, or some of these other positions? Y'all please let me know. And smash that like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys as always. As you can see, the channel is growing. Tomorrow I'm going to be back at 6 p.m. Mountain Time with Cameron Parker, Behind the Enemy Lines. What's going on at Nebraska football this year. So appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, go Buffs.